Hi, my name's Judy. I'm from Cycle Friendly Kingacy and I happen to be looking after this Raleigh step-through style bike. This is an ideal e-bike for using on the road, for doing your shopping. It's not really recommended for off-road. We have mountain bikes for that purpose. Just before I show you the details of the bike, a couple of other things. I'll also send you by email our terms and conditions document, which we'll ask you to sign before we hand over the bike, and a sort of do's and don'ts document that tells you about how to look after the bike. A couple of important things to point out from that is, the first one is we ask that you keep the bike, when you're not using it, keep it locked either in a garage or a shed. The batteries are very valuable and have been known to go missing, so we'd also ask that you, when you're not using the bike, take the battery off it and keep the battery along with the charger inside your house and the keep. The other thing is, if you're out and about and you need to leave the bike, for instance if you're at the shop, we ask that we'll give you this lock and we'll ask you to lock it up. I'll also give you the code for the lock in the email. And finally, we request that you always wear a helmet when you're riding the bike. So we have got some bikes if you don't have, some helmets. If you don't have one, we're happy to lend you one. A few introductions to the bike first of all. It has front suspension, disc brakes. If you haven't used a bike with disc brakes before, just be aware they can be a little bit fierce when you first use them, so you might stop a bit more quickly than you're expecting. And it has 7-speed gears on the back. This is the shifter here for the gears, just works like normal bike shifting. It's important to have the saddle at the right height, and it's quite easy to adjust it. You need an Allen key. You just unscrew the Allen bolt, adjust the saddle to the right height, and then tighten it back up again. You want the saddle about the height that your leg is straight at the bottom of the pedal stroke. There's a rack here with a bungee on it that you can put your shopping or whatever you happen to need. Okay, so the battery. When we give you the bike, we're going to give you the battery charger and the key. You can either charge the battery up in situ on the bike, or you can take it off the bike and charge it up in your house. We'd recommend that you do it in the house because that's just a bit safer. So if you want to charge the battery on the bike, you undo the flap that's on the side of the battery here. You insert the charging unit carefully, making sure it's oriented the correct way, and then you plug your charger into the main. So to remove the battery to charge it, take your key, insert it in the lock at the front here, turn the key to the front of the bike to unlock it, and then pull, there's a handle on the back of the battery, pull the battery pack out. You can then take it into the house and charge it in the house by inserting the charging unit in this end. To put it back in, this is slightly awkward, so just be a little bit careful with it. So align the battery on its rails, push it forward and give it a good push to slam it into position. Turn the key back again to lock it, take the key out. Now I would say that you should then check that the battery's in, because sometimes it doesn't completely engage properly. So I'll just test it, and that's locked in now correctly. That's how it should be. So all aspects of the motor for the e-bike are handled by this controller on the handlebars. There's an on-off button on the top of the unit. Press that once just to bring it to life. And you'll see the display shows you the miles per hour at the top. It shows you the range, as in how far you can go on the current charge of the battery. And also there's a display at the bottom to show you what proportion of charge is in the battery. There are a number of different modes that the bike has, as in the amount of power assistance that they're giving you. And these are controlled by the two buttons on the left. There's a plus button at the top and a minus button at the bottom. The lowest level is off, and that means there's no assistance whatsoever. As you press the plus button, you go up through the different modes. So the next one up is Eco, and we see on that range display there that we'd have 43 miles of range in Eco mode. When you go up into Tour mode, you get a bit more assistance, but the range goes down, so you can only go for 24 miles on that mode. Going up through them, we then have Sport mode, a bit more assistance. Again, that's 19 miles of range. And the top one is Turbo, which gives you a range of only 16 miles. I would recommend that you use either the Eco or the Tour. Okay, there's another useful feature about this bike, which is the walk mode. If you find yourself going up a steep hill or in any other situation where you want to walk with the bike, it's actually really quite heavy. So the walk mode just gives you a bit of assistance when you're pushing the bike. So I'll show you how to do that. First I need to take the stand off. There's a button underneath the unit at the front here which puts you into walk mode, and then what you'll do is you'll use your finger on the plus button to actually engage the motor. So start by pressing the walk mode button. Nothing happens until you press the plus button, and then it assists the bike. Take your finger off the plus to stop it, and it's as simple as that.